Hello, my name is Sandy Adomaitis, the social media director for the Page International Screenwriting Awards, and your host for the Writers Hangout, a podcast that celebrates the many stages of writing, from inspiration to the first draft, revising, getting a project made, and everything in between. We'll talk to the best and the brightest in the entertainment industry and create a space where you can hang out, learn from the pros, and have fun.
I'm exhausted. I can't do a show. Rolling.
Terry.
Yeah.
It's Christmas Eve.
It's crazy.
I love what you have done with the studio.
You're talking about that teeny tiny tree over on the side?
With no decorations on
None.
it.
It's like a Charlie Brown tree.
It's cute.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to all the writers out there. Hope you have the best Christmas ever.
Amen.
Bless you. And for a special holiday treat,
A good old-fashioned clip show.
that's right, the Writers Hangout very first official clip show. You remember them, kids. You love them. Here's our first clip. Early on, we had Judy True Crime as our guest. Judy expressed interest in episode 3 from 2022 titled The Mysterious Death of Hollywood Screenwriter Gary DeVore. So we invited her on the show to discuss her theories.
Right. In episode 3, we talked about the mysterious disappearance of screenwriter Gary DeVore back in 1997. Gary disappeared without a trace while returning home after working on the ending of his latest script, which he claimed would reveal government secrets. Let's play the clip.
Very strange. See, very
Yes.
strange. Now, here's the thing. My theories of what happened to Gary rest on this, but I don't really have the answers because there's the whole thing about Gary's hands, which were missing. And when you were talking about it with Terry, I had the same question as Terry, because he said, could they have come off in normal, tendon stuff, holding them on, being underwater for so long? And apparently there were different theories from different forensic people, but also, of course, I needed to know if they looked like they were sliced off cleanly or if it was jagged or whatever.
Ugh, creepy, right, Terry?
Yeah, that is creepy.
Yeah. I have had the privilege of interviewing some exceptionally gifted writers and creative individuals in the past 2 years. One of my favorite activities during the interviews is playing a game called You Wrote the Show, but Do You Know the Show?
Yeah, here's a clip from Amy Pocha, who, along with her partner Seth Cohen, developed and ran Head of the Class on HBO Max.
Question number 1. Head of the Class is a reboot of what sitcom?
Oh, I love that question. Head of the class.
Yes, you got it.
Yes, I did it. I did it.
Feeling good? Shaking off those nerves? Okay. Question number 2, which actress reprises her role from the original series?
Oh, Robin Givens.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Boomerang, one of my favorite movies. Have you seen Boomerang by any chance?
I have. I love Robin.
It's like my Thanksgiving
She's-
movie. In the pilot, what does Alicia do that impresses the kids?
She shares a little piece of her life. Is that what we're talking about?
No. Do you want a second chance or the answer?
I think it's that she has a breakdown. No, tell me. Tell me.
She matches the names on her iPad to the
Oh, that's
correct
right.
kid.
Yes.
And she was faking it, but she impressed them for like 5 seconds. All right. Now, I pronounced library wrong, so I'm going to try really hard on this. In the library, I'd never make it on your show because I couldn't say where they hung out.
That's all they ever said. Library.
Library. Above
Library.
the exit is a huge sign. What does it say?
Oh, which exit? Oh my gosh.
It's near the staircase.
I mean, I guess it's something about reading or
Ooh.
the Fighting Foxes.
No, but you had the
How
R
did I
right.
not know?
It's recycle.
Oh, recycle. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my
Now we're
gosh,
gonna.
those sets. They were awesome.
I had a conversation with Claudette Wells, an actress known for her role in the TV series Square Pegs. She is now an accomplished voiceover actress and writer. Square Pegs was created and produced by Annie Beats, who was also one of the original writers for Saturday Night Live. Sadly, Annie passed away in 2021. During my conversation with Claudette, I asked her to share her thoughts on what Annie Beats meant to her.
The thing is that the cast of Square Pegs, we had an age range, and there were 4 of us who were 18 and over, and 4 of us who were under 18. So the under 18s had to go to set school, and they had, their guardians there, and the teacher would have to keep track of the hours that they were on set. And those of us who were over 18 were on our own. So we worked more hours because those are the rules, and would hang out and invite us to things. She invited us to, Anne was living during the time we were shooting the pilot. She was living at the Chateau Marmont and a hotel. And she had a 1-bedroom apartment in there, I think, suite something. Anyway, and the entire cast and many of all the writers were there. And so we had a party there. And then, of course, after the series wrapped, we had a party. I think it was at the Hard Rock Cafe, and that was super fun. I have pictures of that. And then Anne and I would hang out. She invited me one night, I remember, to the Improv, and it was with Lorraine Newman and one of the Mothersbaugh brothers. I can't remember which one, from Devo, because Devo had done an episode of Square Pegs, the episode
that's
of
right.
Yeah, Muffy's bat mitzvah. Of course, Muffy's dad got Devo to play at Muffy's bat mitzvah, so it was really fun. And that was Jamie Gertz, lovely Jamie Gertz, and very funny and very smart Jamie Gertz, and beautiful. Yeah, so I remember Anne invited me, and I don't know how she decided to invite me. Maybe because she knew my background was improv, because I had studied with Lorraine's sister at the Groundlings, Tracy Newman, who, of course, became a big showrunner, writer for. Yeah, I don't know why Anne would include me and invite me to things, but she would. And I just loved it. I just remember sitting at the table going, I'm with Lorraine Newman and was it Mark? I'm not sure. I think it was Mark Mothersbaugh. And I thought, this is really cool. Do I really know how cool this is? Because I was such a straight sort of square, not a square peg, but certainly a straight-laced person in this group of avant-garde artists who push the limits of everything. And I just thought, this is really cool.
Yes.
People don't know how cool I am. I'm sitting here with Ann Beats, Lorraine Newman, and Mark Mothersbaugh. It was amazing. It was amazing. And I remember also one thing that I learned recently, like in the past few years, when I started seeing all this stuff about Bill Murray, that Bill Murray is showing up here and Bill Murray showing up there, and Bill Murray showed up at these people's wedding, and he did this, and he bartended here, and he just showed up. And I was like, and then I was reading all these things about Bill Murray. And I was like, that's so interesting because, Bill Murray did an episode of Square Pegs. And it was so funny because I made Bill Murray laugh. And I didn't know it was a big deal. Nobody was around. It was Bill Murray in our makeup room. And it was between shots or something. And I went to adjust my wig or something. And Bill Murray was in there, probably getting away from everyone, even though he had a dressing room. Who knows what he was doing? He's Bill Murray. So I walked in and he said something like snarky and like, you got this job and I bet you think you're funny. And I said, well, I am funny. And then I switched into this character, some kind of sassy street Groundlings character. And he laughed out loud and he was surprised at himself laughing. He goes, you really are funny.
Terry,
Yeah.
would you like to guess which episode of the Writers Hangout has the most listens?
Would it be tree trimming?
No.
Not that.
No.
Okay.
It is episode 17, The Unbelievable Story of Elizabeth Finch, Part 1. Elizabeth Finch was a talented television writer and rising star who wrote many emotional scripts for the popular show Grey's Anatomy. Her scripts explored sensitive topics like cancer, abortion, and sexual abuse, drawn from her own life experiences.
Let's check it out.
Chemo deserved her solo attention. Elizabeth said no and felt the doctor was skeptical of her commitment to getting well. Elizabeth is quoted as saying, "When you're a young, career-loving woman living happily alone, 3,000 miles away from your family, and on the threshold of true success, work is what you do. Writing is how I made my way in the world. It defined who I am." So, 3 mornings a week, Elizabeth went to chemotherapy and then to work because she had an outline due, a story to break, an episode to write. For months, Elizabeth told no one, but meanwhile, the tumor grew. In addition to chemo, she had daily doses of radiation. The first person she told was her agent, followed by her boss, who had kept her secrets and arranged writing schedules and made concessions.
Besides Elizabeth, our listeners love to hear from the Page Awards judges, the industry professionals who read the submitted screenplays. For the next clip, we will have 2 Page judges, Lori Ashbourne and Victoria Lucas. Lori began her film career in Disney animation, and over the past 20 years, she's worked as a story consultant, a writer, and a producer for Disney, Amazon, and many independent producers. As a Page judge, Lori reviews scripts in several genres, including family films, comedies, dramas, and shorts. They have movies about shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Victoria Lucas is an independent producer who has developed scripts for projects starring Antonio Banderas, Scarlett Johansson, Wesley Snipes, and Hilary Swank. Victoria reads drama and historical films for Page. Let's roll.
What's the first thing you look for when you start reading a new script?
Well, it has to grab me. And every writer has heard this forever. It needs to let me know what the story's about, give me an idea of the genre. Now, you can have a genre mashup, or you can change genres and do twists and things like that. But I have to know what world you're setting up and what characters I'm going to be following. If you can do that, I'm with you for the script.
How about you, Lori?
Yeah, I'd say the first glance, I look at the page overall without even maybe reading just the first sentence or something. And it shows me if I'm dealing with a writer that is in command of their craft.
Continuing with Page and judging screenplays, I interviewed Kristin Overn in episode 25, Behind the Scenes with Kristin Overn, the founder and executive director of the Page International Screenwriting Awards competition. We talked about the high bar she requires for Page judges.
One of the things I wanted to do was to make sure that the people who were reading the scripts submitted to us were professionals. I think a lot of contests, they don't hire professionals to read the scripts. They have interns working for free or students. And it was so important that the people who read our scripts know the industry, know what they're doing. I mean, anybody can have an opinion. Anybody can have a great opinion. I'm not even dissing the interns who may be reading scripts elsewhere. They may be brilliant people.
Yes.
But if you don't know what the industry's looking for, you're not going to be really effective at winnowing the scripts down to the kinds of projects that managers and producers and agents are going to be interested in when they read them in the final rounds. And again, I think the reason that we have such a good reputation amongst the industry is because our early round judges know what they're doing.
Terry, doing a show for 2 years, some big things. Oh, could you hand me my scarf, please? It's so chilly here in the studio. Thank you. Southern California. Ooh. Anyway, a big momentous thing happened to you while we were recording the podcast.
Yeah, my daughter got married.
Madeline got married.
Yep, and the ink has dried.
Terry, you've been away for a while. Welcome back to the Writers Hangout. We have missed you so much. Can you tell us where you've been?
Yes, I've been to my daughter's wedding. How about that?
Madeline got married.
Yep, I gave her away. And we had to give up 2 oxen and a goat, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, it's a traditional wedding.
It's good.
Yeah, and a squirrel to be named later. But the point is, it was a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. It's a funny place where everyone is happy yet crying at the same time.
My parents met at a wedding.
No kidding.
Yes.
Wow.
So I always think of that when weddings are mentioned. But
Did your mom catch the bouquet by then?
No. You know, I never asked her. I don't think so. She wasn't I could never see her like pushing to the front. That
really
was not my
center
mind.
fielder of any kind.
No, not at all. They're such a great couple, and I wish them the best.
Oh, thank you. They are great. Someone said this. I thought it was adorable. They deserve each other.
Aww.
And I think in the nicest. That's in the nicest way.
No, that's in the nicest way. No, that is. But who said that? It wasn't Don Corleone or something like that at your wedding. No. But I'm so glad we are back together. Ooh, I just burnt my lip on the hot chocolate.
Yikes.
Oh, it's good though. When doing a weekly podcast, you learn about yourself. I found that I use the word okay. It helps me mentally transition between points I'm trying to make, but it can also make me sound like I'm crazy. The amount of times I say okay is infinite. I also learned that I'm a repeater. Terry, you might perhaps say something like, the dog looks like Kevin Costner. I laugh, and then I say back to you like the last 3 or 4 words, the dog looks like Kevin Costner. Okay, this next clip, there we go. Okay, this next clip is from episode 33, Tips to Get You Started Writing. By the way, writers, I try very hard not to do this anymore. Okay, let's roll the clip.
It's on the screen.
Steven Spielberg is directing it.
Could have been your script.
Could have been your script, exactly. Okay, so today I'd like to focus on how to begin, with tips on what to do before you sit down and write the first scenes of that terrific screenplay you have in your head, and how to make it easy and not scary. I learned another thing, Terry, and it's about you.
About me? What would that be?
You love toilet paper.
This town, some of my friends that don't live in Los Angeles, I've had this conversation with them. A big city, especially like New York, is a really good example of this. But when things go bad, they go bad quick. I mean, it's a matter of days, and all of a sudden the numbers spike up a lot. And so you really have to be on top of your game.
Yeah, all the survival books that I read.
Yeah.
It's a guilty pleasure of mine. Apocalyptic survival books.
Yeah.
3 days. Big cities have 3 days.
Yeah.
And then food runs out.
Yeah.
That's all you have. That's in the grocery store, is 3 days worth of food.
Yeah, and everybody runs there. We had the toilet paper experience of that when it first started.
But I interrupted you. You were saying New York.
Oh, I love
to
talk about toilet paper. Don't stop me. Do not slow me down. Double ply, love that. Soft, sure.
Did you hoard during the pandemic?
I hoarded.
Be honest.
I hoarded everything.
Did you?
I have over 10,000 cotton swabs. I don't need that many. I got 2 ears.
I did overdo it a little on the hand sanitizer.
Did you?
I have to admit that. I have like way too much hand sanitizer.
You know, another game you play with the writers you interview is questions only a writer can answer.
Right, and the next clip is from Mike Gallo. Mike is a Haitian-born writer and showrunner, and one of Hollywood's top emerging creatives, best known for his writing roles on HBO's hit series Insecure and Netflix Ginny and Georgia. I interviewed him about his series Send Help, a coming-of-age dark comedy which premiered on AMC's All Black Network. Great. Would you like to play a lightning round of brain drops?
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, let's go for it. Let's try it.
Brain drops is a fast-paced Q&A with answers only a writer can provide.
Oh my
I'm
God.
going to start
Okay.
the timer for 1 minute.
Okay.
And okay, where do you write?
At my desk, at home. I have to write at my desk.
When writing, music on or off?
Off.
Reading a hard copy of a script, 1 Brad or 2?
Ooh, 2.
Whiteboard or legal pad?
Ooh, whiteboard.
Final draft or Celtics?
Final draft.
From the past or present, what TV show do you wish you wrote on?
Oh my God. Okay, there are so many. Okay, Succession, The West Wing, Barry, Bag.
Fleabag.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge wrote. I think didn't she write the whole thing herself. She's brilliant.
She really is.
All these writers are brilliant. And let's see. I would have loved to have written on a different
our
world.
timer's already off.
Huh?
Oh, well.
Oh,
Our
okay.
timer went
There were
off.
so many. Yeah, there were so many shows I would have loved to have written on.
Well, you know what? Let's finish it up anyways.
Okay.
Favorite snack while writing?
Ooh, popcorn.
Do you come up with a title for your script at the beginning or end?
Ooh, sometimes at the beginning, and then sometimes it changes by the end.
Writing at home, PJs or clothes?
I'm not a PJs guy, but definitely comfortable, like leisure at home clothes.
Okay. Shaded parking spot right next to the production office or $25K extra in the budget?
$5K extra in the budget.
You didn't even pause on that one.
No.
Is Issa Rae as wonderful as she seems?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would you hire a staff writer who never fails to write the perfect joke, or the staff writer whose first draft needs a minimal rewrite?
Right with the great joke.
Mike, thank you again. This was so much fun. This next clip comes from episode 32. Welcome to my Ted Bergman Rogue Comedy Writers Talk.
Yes, Ted Bergman, a 40-year veteran comedy writer with a long list of credits including, ready? The Munsters, Hollywood Squares, All in the Family, Sanford and Son, What's Happening, Give Me a Break, and The Gary Shandling Show.
In this episode, I challenged Terry and the writers to come up with a punchline that the writers on Sanford and Son were struggling with.
I don't remember how I did on this. I'll have to hear.
I'm going to let you and the audience, the writers out there, think a minute and see if they can come up a good pitch of the joke in their head. Okay, here's the setup. Fred's reading a newspaper and he reads that Los Angeles is going to have an earthquake. He gets scared and he decides he's going to move to Las Vegas. Earthquake doesn't happen and Fred returns back to Los Angeles. Fred: I'm looking for a lawyer. I'm going to sue the newspaper. Lamont: sue? Why? Fred: they said there was going to be an earthquake, and I went all the way to Las Vegas, and there wasn't no earthquake. Lamont: uh-huh. And what are you going to sue the paper for? Fred: breach of earthquake.
Oh.
Yeah, nobody liked that joke. Yeah. What would you come up with?
Let's
the exit line. It's got to blow everybody away, big laugh, lights go out.
Let me get a minute here. What are you going to sue the city for? I don't have anything. The only thing that came up was more shaky business.
I like it. It's cute.
It's not bad.
Cute. Cute, more shaky business. Probably can work on. I bet you another writer could have built off that.
Maybe.
So here's the fix. We're going to go back to the setup. Fred: they said there was going to be an earthquake, and I went all the way to Las Vegas, and there wasn't no earthquake. Lamont: uh-huh. And what are you going to sue the newspaper for?
All the money I lost. Is that it?
No, that's not it, but I like it better than what this is, actually.
That's it. I forgot about Las Vegas.
I think that's good. Fred: failure to deliver the quiver.
Okay.
It's cute.
Yeah,
but yeah. I like yours. I would have used yours if I was the executive producer.
One of my favorite interviews was with actor Michael McManus, who came on our show to talk about 1982's iconic scary movie, Poltergeist. I asked him about the rumors that the set was haunted, and Michael also shared a sweet story about his daughter and Steven Spielberg. Hey, Michael, Terry Sampson. Now, there's been a lot said about Poltergeist and the paranormal. I'm always curious, did you guys have a weird vibe going on while you shot it, or were you guys distanced from it, or anything weird happen, or was it just a shoot?
For me, I didn't sense anything. I mean, you were around a lot of skeletons, and so I never sensed anything. I read things other people have said that they thought there was a weird vibe, but I didn't personally. It was a pretty happy set. We shot a lot at night, and the people that actually lived in the neighborhood would come by and hang out and have coffee and stuff. I mean, that was a tough movie, I think, for little kids to do. I remember one nice thing. Can I have a nice thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We were at MGM again shooting, and the kids were there, and my daughter Molly was visiting, and she was, young. She was pretty young too. She was like 10 or something, and she was visiting on the set. And some downtime, I saw a gaggle of the kids sitting around Steven Spielberg, and I went over to listen, and because he was doing E.T. at the time, he was telling them the E.T. story. He was sitting there with these kids, all the three kids in the show, and my daughter, and
Wow, that's so
telling
cool.
them this story. Yes, she still remembers that, and I thought that was neat. Before the movie even came out, they got to hear the story. He might have been trying it out on them. I don't know. It was very sweet.
In episode 39, we did a deep dive on Al Adamson called The Life and Ghastly Death of Director-Writer Al Adamson.
That was a wild episode we did for Spooky Season. Al worked on the fringes of Hollywood during the golden age of drive-ins and grindhouse films and died in 1995 in a manner so dreadful it could have been a scene from one of his movies. And if I remember correctly, and I rarely do, he used one word over and over in his movie titles.
Let's roll the clip. He would shoot his movies in a week to 10 days. And as I was quoting before, he liked to use the word blood in the titles. Here are just a couple of them. Blood of Dracula's Castle, 5 Bloody Graves, Hell's Bloody Devils, Horror of the
Blood?
Monsters. You got it. Brain of the...
Blood
of the Ghastly Horror.
I complain of the blood of the blood?
Blood.
Yeah. In episode 43, titled Walt Disney Fight for Your Right to Party, we discussed an event that took place at the Norcanian Resort in the California desert. Walt Disney had thrown a party to express gratitude to his employees for the success of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The party turned wild, and Walt himself never referred to the party again. And if you wanted to keep your job, you didn't mention it either. Roll the clip.
They were exhausted by all the work they had done, but also, let's just say, super hyped about finally being rewarded their due. So they were excited. The people in their mid-20s and who were mostly single and hired after Snow White had no idea how to behave at a company party, and here they are, just handed the keys to the kingdom. They were looking forward to living La Vida Loco.
Okay.
Also, a notice went out, please do not bring any children.
Oh,
okay,
well.
So
So
the chessboard is set.
Yikes.
Okay. Walt's field day. The first activity was a golf tournament. I'm sorry, big yawn. See, your eyes lit up.
No. Well,
big yawn for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Terry, how about let's give points to the party activities. Okay. What do you think of the first activity being a golf tournament? So that, to me, that means all the employees
it
have
also
to play.
feels like you might win something like a 25-cent drink.
The main theme for this podcast is drinking. No, you're right. They did get fees, which I'll talk about later, but no Amazon
cash.
gift card or anything like that was handed out. So what do you think of the tournament starting off? I'm going to say 0 for me. I get no points for me.
Okay, what's the scale? 0 to 10?
1 to 10, yeah,
okay.
Points.
I'm going to give it a 7. Because people like to golf, and they would see that as oh, great, free golf. Unless you're going to surprise me with it costing them $100 or something.
No, and the links were beautiful.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I do get it. Field day, tournament. It was nice. Okay. Next activity up. Relay races in the pool. Nightmare. No points for
No
me.
point.
Ooh, nightmare.
I'm gonna give him a -3
Yeah,
because that's just a
like,
horrible idea.
Hey, would you like to get in your bathing suit in front of all your coworkers
and swim like your defense on it?
So where are we on the score now?
You've got 0. I'm down to 4 now from the 7.
4. Okay, good. A diving exposition on the boards, but this was done by professionals.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you're gonna view them doing?
Yes, you. They didn't make them. They didn't make the employees dive.
Okay.
On the fun scale, I'm going to give that a 2.
Okay.
What do you think?
I'm gonna give it a. So are they pretty good?
Yeah, they're professional divers, and I'm sure there were fun pratfalls and.
Oh, pratfalls. Oh, I'm back up to 7.
You're back up to 7.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Good. Yeah.
All right. After the diving by professionals, men in the audience were challenged to dive off the high board, and only one animator, Milt Neal, the Duckman was his nickname, jumped off the 10-meter platform. Okay, I'm going to give that a 10, -9 for making it sexist and not inviting the women.
Okay. Listen, I don't know the Duckman. I like the idea that the Duckman jumped. I'm going 8 for the Duckman. Good for him.
When your nickname's the Duckman and they call for you to go into the pool.
You know what's expected, the Duckman.
I think you might have mentioned this, but the employees were encouraged to bring their own towels. You could rent a towel for 10 cents, but the hotel didn't want to rent out that many towels. So again, there was that request that the hotel would like you to bring your towels. So -3 points. I know that's not an activity, but I want to take 3 points off.
Yeah, I'm taking 5. And I'm taking 8 off.
Bring your own towel.
When you walk in there, especially if you tell the Duckman after he's jumped, he's going to be mad. He expecting a towel for nothing. He jumped off the high dive.
Walt hadn't even arrived. Before you knew it, at the pool, swimsuits went flying, and people began to swim naked.
Oh, whoa!
Bill Justice said animator Freddie Moore, who redesigned Mickey Mouse, got so bombed he fell out a second-story window. Moore's fall was broken by Goofy. Moore's fall was broken by a tree. We did a quiz between Terry and Los Angeles native Kathy Rager, a production coordinator and friend of ours, as to figure out who knows LA best, an LA native or a transplant.
I remember that. That was fun. I'm sure I won. Play the clip.
All right, let's get into our quiz. Who knows Los Angeles better? Someone born and raised in LA or a long-term transplant? Okay, I'm going to ask each of you a question, and you get 1 point per question, winner take all. Kathy, the Hollywood sign originally read Hollywoodland, Holly Dreams, or Holly?
Hollywoodland.
Yes. Terry, in LA, it's illegal to bathe 2 blanks in the same tub at the same time.
Did you say bathe?
Yes.
Okay. I think it has to be babies, but it's either babies or ducks. But I'm going to go with babies.
You are correct. Kathy, which of these is not a real NFL team from LA? Los Angeles Rams, Los Angeles Chargers, Los Angeles Angels.
Oh, the Angels would not be. They'd be
Correct.
baseball. Although a lot of San Diego still don't think that the LA Chargers are LA Chargers. So that's a kind of tough one.
I felt Kathy's struggle with that.
Yeah,
that was tough.
Terry, what is the real name of Little Santa Monica, which runs parallel to Santa Monica Boulevard?
I'm going to go with Bob.
It's called South Santa Monica.
Oh, I meant that second.
So close. Kathy, before
Yes.
the mid 1800s, LA was owned by a different country. Which one?
Let me see. It's either Mexico or the Native Americans. I'll go with Mexico.
What a good point, the Native Americans. Yeah, I'm going to it's Mexico, but Native Americans, and you said both. So there you go. Okay. Terry, name 2 iconic Los Angeles landmarks that begin with the letter G.
G. Landmarks. Wow.
Can I help him?
One of them starts with the word grand, right? The Grand Poobah and the grandiose idea everyone needs to have to get going here in the business. I don't know. I don't know either. Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to throw it to you, Kathy, and you get the points.
Okay. Is one the Getty?
Yes.
It begins with a G?
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
What's the other one? Can I go with Terry's Grand Poobah?
No, the other one is the Griffith
Oh,
Observatory.
yeah.
Oh.
And I would have taken Park. Terry, college has the mascot, the Trojans.
That'd be USC. That's an easy one.
Kathy, you are at an In-N-Out and you order the animal fries. What do you get?
The sauce, the animal sauce, and do they put cheese on it? I think it's just the animal sauce. Onions?
You got it.
Okay.
Terry, it's 5-2. Would you like to make a comeback?
I'd love to.
Is Randy's Donuts located?
Randy's is out by the airport on the way to the airport. Does that count?
Kathy, let's give it to him, okay?
What? Randy's Donuts? Isn't that on it's like, is that Hollywood Way? Hollywood and
It's Inglewood, guys.
Inglewood.
Inglewood.
Did it move? Randy's Donuts? They moved that big donut?
No, it's always been in
that's
Inglewood.
Inglewood, I think.
That's Inglewood on the way to the airport.
Yeah.
Kathy,
yes.
Where is Muscle Beach?
Venice?
Yes.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Blank Canyon is where the young, hip, and fit hike.
Oh yeah. I've hiked this. It has a very tough, depending on where you start, they have this really steep part of it.
Yes.
And
there are guards at both sides, and you literally have to be beautiful, fit, and an actor to hike it.
I dress up as a as a warlock, and they seem to have no problem with me going there. Let's see. See, we walk Fryman, by the way. That's another good place, but that's not the answer.
I love Fryman. You go by George Clooney's house.
Yeah, the Clune.
Yeah.
I wave, I get nothing. But let's see.
My friend Judy and I pick up the tennis balls that come down from his court, and then we have George Clooney's balls. True story.
Let's see. Runyon.
Yes.
See, I waited just long enough.
Kathy.
Yes.
Bradford Studios in Studio City is home to Hollywood's best half-hour comedies. What silent film producer and legend was the first person to open up a movie studio in that location? Who is the first?
I don't know that one.
I mean, it's famous for Mary Tyler Moore, MTM.
Yeah. Oh, I can kind of see a face, but not.
Okay.
I don't know.
Mac Sennett.
Who?
Mac Sennett. Mac
Who's
and
he?
Mabel? Mac Sennett?
No.
Oh, we're going to have to take away your Hollywood.
Yes, you are.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah, from now on, Kathy, just go, oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, that's right. Did that work?
Yeah.
She can edit that part in.
Terry,
Yes.
what is a brown derby?
It's a restaurant.
Yes. It was in the shape of a brown derby.
So cute.
Yes. Kathy, what famous ice cream parlor was located on Hollywood Boulevard?
Is
It
that
closed in
Schweitzer?
the 90s.
Schweitzer's?
No,
I don't know how to pronounce it properly.
This has nothing to do with Marilyn Monroe, does it?
not one
No,
thing.
it's Lana Turner.
Oh, that was Schwab's. Is that what you were talking about? Schwab's?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
what was
she
that?
was. Sorry.
That was down at Crescent Heights. This is right in the heart of Hollywood Boulevard, across from Grom's Chinese, I believe it was. Harry, do you want to take a try?
I don't.
31 flavors.
No, it's not 31 flavors. A C.C. Brown's.
C.C. Brown's, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Established in 1906 and late 90s it closed. Terry, how did
Yes.
Hollywood get its name?
It was named after the housing development company, I'm going to say,
Okay.
or the great holly bushes that were very easily found in the hillish area. How's that?
You are correct. The holly bush.
That's fantastic.
I know. What a turnaround.
Yay!
Yay!
Terry, I love sharing our Hollywood stories with the listeners and writers out there. You want to listen to a couple?
Okay.
Okay.
I once performed in Hollywood. It was a special night in which there was a song that Mike Himmelstein and I had written, and they asked us to sing it at this club. So we did it, and then we drove home late.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never do that.
Right.
I never drove home late.
Right.
I'm always home at
Yes.
10:15, ready to go to bed, you know. So I'm driving, and I get to Sunset at...
Doheny?
No, it's farther down a little bit, like La Brea.
Oh, you're talking east. Okay.
Yeah, but we're just going home. So we're driving that. There was a guy completely naked in every way standing on the corner, and I went, is this why we don't stay out? My wife said, yeah, this is exactly why we don't stay out. That's the Sunset Strip.
Yeah, absolutely. I had such a terrible experience once, caught at a light where up in that area where a man, I was just Hollywood Boulevard, it might have been actually, where I was just caught at a light, and this guy just came up to my car and pressed his pelvis into the driver's side window and just kept grinding, and it was a red light, and it's horrible. Welcome to Hollywood. Okay.
He thought your car was very sexy. Were you driving the Lamborghini back then? No.
I think it was a Mazda 323 stick shift. You know, it was no dignity at any moment in that time. Just stay home. Don't go out late. So, Terry, the moral of this story is if you're high on cocaine, you get an Emmy. If you're clean and sober, you get an Oscar. So remember that, writers.
Okay.
Reach your goals. No. But what a fascinating story, Stephen Gaghan.
And I had this funky little truck at the time, and I was taking my turn to get out. Do you know that it would be on the West Side Gate?
Gower?
There was always, yeah. You'd always have to wait that out. There's always like a long line. So I'm sitting there waiting, and I turn and I see the hot dog vendor there, lost control, and it's driving right at me.
All of a sudden, you're in an Abbott and Costello movie.
I am. And I'm staring at it, and I look ahead, and I go, I can't go anywhere. And he hits my little truck, and I go out there, and my truck was not new. It was quite old, actually, at the time. He was apologizing. He offered me a hot dog. While I was eating the hot dog, I was looking at the dent in the side of my truck, and he goes, gee, what are we going to do? I go, nothing. The car's not even worth getting this thing pinged out. I go, it's fine. So I went home, and I took a little ball peen hammer, and I said, maybe I can get this out myself. And I'm pounding on it. And I go, wait a minute, this sounds pretty good. So I bring a couple of microphones out, and I'm recording me taking the ping out. And I take that sound and I sample it into a snare drum, and I used it on a cues for Family Ties. How about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, Brian De Palma should have made that the plot for Blowout.
Is it too early in our enterprise here that I should drop a name? Shall I drop a name?
Please do.
The name is Sandra Bullock. My wife was Palsy's. She was a costumer for Sandra's first TV show.
Working it?
Something. It might be Working Girl.
It could have been Working Girl. Yeah, maybe was it the takeoff of the movie Working Girl?
I think it was.
Which we will do a whole podcast on Working Girl. I love that movie. How interesting.
Yeah, so much so she was so nice to us that we went over to her house for a kegger.
Get out of town.
Yeah,
Fun.
This was back when she was just a gal trying to make her way. And
this is before.
So I do sort of know her.
You do?
I hung out with her a couple of days, and I like the idea of how different this role was than her personality. Really different.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not saying that she's not warm, loving, and take an alligator in who's lost his way. I'm sure she would.
Right.
But she was not her. She was really zoomed into this character. So I have the rare firsthand knowledge saying, wow. I remember we do that pretty often with her. We love to watch something she's done because we have at least some experience with it.
Right.
And we couldn't be happier that she...
I was in the same room with Sandy Bullock.
There you go.
My friend Darlene Chan produced a thing called Love, River Phoenix. Actually, not River Phoenix last movie, because he did make one after it, but it never came out because he had passed away.
All right.
But so it was a screening of a thing called Love on the Paramount lot, and Sandy was there. I just stared at her. I didn't speak to her or anything. I mean, I didn't stare at her all night, but she's little. She's little, right?
Your name's still on a list, I gotta tell you. Don't let her name.
But Peter Bogdanovich directed that movie. So he was there and he did a little speech ahead of time, and he had with him a gallon jug of water. And just a big old plastic supermarket gallon of water that he drank from.
He drank a gallon of, looked like a milk carton.
It looked like the see-through plastic jug, yeah.
Wow.
And even when he was, he just went up to I think there's like a little stage and just talked about the movie for a little while. And he had the jug with him up on stage.
This was before water was popular, right? So he was a trender.
He was a trender, that
job.
Peter Bogdanovich.
Way to go, Peter.
Yes.
Just find your own way, man.
I'm fascinated with Peter because of Dorothy Stratton, who was murdered, Star 90,
Right.
Merrill Hemingway, and then Peter Bogdanovich went on to marry Dorothy's younger sister, and I'm blanking on her name, but she was there also. So that was a big night for me. Dermot Mulroney, Sandra Bullock.
We just had a couple of beers with Sandra, so...
No, your story.
No.
You win because that was real friendship. Mine was I just had a pass to get onto the Paramount lot. I watched the documentary Pretty Baby Brooke Shields on Hulu last weekend. Did you watch it by any chance?
I haven't.
I have my own Brooke Shields story. When I found myself around her, I walked away disappointed in something that she did.
Okay.
After watching the documentary, I feel I was wrong in my judgment. I feel I judged her completely wrong.
First up is R. Scott Shields, who won the Page Bronze Prize in 2009 for his beautifully written family drama, Strawberry Mansions, and then won our grand prize the very next year in 2010 for his comedy feature, Supercat. Since then, sometimes with representation and sometimes without, Scott went on to write a sci-fi fantasy for Hydraulics Entertainment called Jason and the Astronauts, and was hired to write 2 sports biopics. Writers, are you ready? Let's hang out with Scott.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
My pleasure.
Did you do anything special for New Year's?
For New Year's, I swept rain off of my back patio from one side to the other because I had clogged drains. I was literally drenched. I had to change clothes when I was done. I really rang in the new year in style.
And networks even distributed special glasses around the country and showed some episodes in 3D, an experiment that largely fizzled. I don't think so. I'm still wearing mine.
Did it come in TV Guide or something?
It
Did
came
you
in
rip out the insert?
I got it when I bought a Slurpee. I'm not kidding.
Wow, so it was at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, they were there for free, but I was there for the Slurpee.
Yeah.
It was a hot summer.
Hi, I'm Sandy Adomaitis.
Hi, I'm Terry Sampson.
Terry, you know how we usually chat a little bit in the beginning? And
yeah, it's my favorite part. I look forward to it. Hopefully nothing's going to change.
Can we just jump into the story today? I spent the whole day yesterday crying.
Oh, no.
Yes, and let's just get into it. I've wanted to tell the story of actress, screenwriter, and filmmaker Adrienne Shelly since the beginning of the podcast. I want everybody out there to get to know the screenwriters behind their favorite movies. And I do this through true crime stories. And this one just hit way too close to home for me.
It had to be cold water.
Yes.
It drives right in there.
Yes.
I've heard.
Yes. I have never been to the Polo Lounge.
I haven't
been to the
either.
Polo Lounge? Well,
we will do an episode from the Polo Lounge.
I think that's an excellent.
Hold us to that, audience.
Excellent idea.
This was the beginning of the great ascent of 20th Century Fox as a studio. Like the year before, they may have done 5 pilots, but this sales season was its most successful ever, thanks to Peter Roth, who later was president of Warner Brothers for like 20 years.
Did you know I once got Peter Roth's tickets to a Dodger game? Well, I didn't get them. My boss got them, and I went. Yeah,
that doesn't surprise me at all.
It was amazing. I think that perhaps the President of the United States was even behind us. It was just the seats were amazing. But sorry, I put us on a different track. Continue, please.
Anyway, we were talking about how Buffy, came to the studio.
Prince's wife went with Thelma to the coat check room where Thelma started to badmouth the motion picture industry. Don't let Hollywood change you.
Get on board.
Stay just the same. Don't take any stock in what people tell you. Go your own way. Hollywood is full of unhappiness. Don't let it get you.
Wow, where was she when I moved out here?
I know. We need that on a pamphlet at the bus station.
That should be a T-shirt.
Hey, have you ever hiked up to the location?
I have no desire to hike up to the location now because for me, it's like visiting your old burned out elementary school.
Yeah.
But I was there for the first day of filming for season 6. And what was really cool about that day is we had planned to redo some of the opening titles. And so I'm standing in the compound and I hear the helicopters and I look up and there are the 2 helicopters flying against the backdrop of those purple mountains, just like you see on TV. So it's like, man, if I'm going to go to the MASH set, this is the day to be there.
Ken, I am so jealous, seriously. Michael Hitchcock, thanks so much for joining us on the Writers Hangout.
Well, thank you for having me, Sandy. This is fantastic.
Michael, back in the day, you were known for having the most fabulous Easter egg hunt party. Are you still having them? Have I dropped off the invitation list?
I'm sure everyone listening to your podcast really wants to know about that.
I literally saw an adult push a child, a toddler, to the side to get an egg.
I saw that too. I did. I've seen it. No, I'm not having them anymore. So rest assured, it's not that you weren't not invited. I gave that up a long time ago. I think it was too much work making all the macaroni salad.
One of my favorite things about having you as a co-host, Terry, is how you always respect the tone of the moment. This next quick clip is from episode 20, The Strange Disappearance of Screenwriter Ian McIntosh. After a test flight, the trio flew towards Kodiak. The weather that evening was clear, but it was very windy in Kodiak. At 5:45 p.m., while flying northeast of the Kodiak Island, Barber sent out a distress signal saying he was losing oil pressure. The air traffic controller at the Kodiak airport relayed the call to the U.S. Coast Guard, and searches were in the air within 10 minutes. And over the last known coordinates of Ian's plane in 30 minutes. But they saw no sign of the aircraft. The search continued for 3 days, but neither the plane nor the passengers were ever found.
No sign of those 3 scripts either. We're going to cut that.
No. Merry Christmas from the Writers Hangout. That's a wrap for the Writers Hangout. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, like, and thrive. Till we get to hang out again, keep writing. The world needs your stories. The Writers Hangout is sponsored by the Page International Screenwriting Awards. Executive producer, Kristin Overn. Producers, Terry Sampson and Sandy Adomaitis. Music by Ethan Stoller.